Our topic for today is fractions, part 10, comparing fractions with cross multiplication. Comparing means that we're going to put two fractions side by side. Here on the left side we have 2/3, and on the right side we have 7/12. And a lot of times when you compare fractions, if you have models, you can look at them and get a sense of which one is larger and which one is smaller. But there are times when you're not sure. So cross multiplication is when you would take the 2/3, you would multiply the 3 times the 7, and then write it up there, and then the 12 times the 2, and then when you get your product, you would compare them. And it has that cross, and that's what we mean here. So let's try it. 3 times 7 is 21. 12 times 2 is 24. And when we compare 24 and 21, I see that 24 is greater, and I'm going to put my greater than. So this would read 2/3 is greater than 7/12. Comparing fractions mean that we place the fractions side by side. In this case, 6/8 is on the left side and 7/10. And we see the model for 6/8 and the model for 7/10. And they're pretty close. When you have models, you can tell. I can tell that this one's a little bit bigger, but if we did not have these models, it's a little bit hard to tell, and that's where the cross multiplication comes in. We have three outcomes: equal, greater than, and less than. Remember, when we read this from the left side across to the right. Okay, let's try our cross multiplication. I'm going to go 8 times 7. That would be 56. And 10 times 6 would be 60. Now I'm going to compare 60 and 56. I can see that 60 is greater. So this would read 6/8 is greater than 7/10. Compare the fractions, write greater than, less than, or equal to. 4/12 and 5/8. 12 times 5 is 60, and 8 times 4 is 32 when I compare. So we would read this as 4/12 is less than 5/8. 4/8 and 1/2. 8 times 1 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. Those are equal. 4/8 is equal to 1/2. 3/4 compared to 5/8. 4 times 5 is 20. 8 times 3 is 24. And when I compare, 24 is greater. So this would read 3/4 is greater than 5/8. 3/5 compared to 4/10. 5 times 4 is 20. And 10 times 3 is 30. When I compare 30 and 20, that is greater. So 3/5 is greater than 4/10. In review, our lesson today is comparing fractions using cross multiplication. And cross multiplication is just like it sounds. We just would multiply the bottom of the first fraction times the top, and then do the same thing going the other way. Compare the products and then put in either greater than, less than, or equal to. Okay, thanks everybody.